So the secret to having this good guanxi is that your relationship must be about more than just the business you are doing. Must be. I got into exporting wine by accident. I was supplying belts and fashion accessories to some major retail brands here in Australia, and the owner of the belt factory asked me if I could get him some wine. That's how I got into wine export. The relationship between the manufacturer and myself was too strong for me to say no. I had to go through the process of doing it, and now I'm exporting wine all the time. Now, obviously I had to fast track my understanding of the market and learn a lot about it, and it wasn't quite that simple. But the point is, it was the relationship that in the first place that made that even possible. And that is what I mean by saying your relationship needs to be about more than just the business. You know, I've had people ask me, can you help select a school for our kids to study? They want to do their last couple of years of high school here before doing uni, and I'd like to allow them, you would have heard this a million times, Max, I'd like to allow them to acclimatise. So, you know, what do I know about that? Well, I tell you what, I found out pretty quickly, because I could see the benefit that was coming just around the corner from doing that. And that person now buys wine from me, you know. So those kind of opportunities, you know, they might ask you about visas. They might ask you about any thing that you may seem on the surface as irrelevant, where in typical Australian way you might react, well, I don't know anything about that, mate, you know, but good luck. Or here's a yellow pages, good luck. Or why don't you contact this guy? If I can stress one point, if there's one thing that you remember from what I've spoken about here today, if you get asked to do a favour by a business colleague in China, or by someone that you hope optimistically will become a business colleague, if they ask you to do something and it is at all within your power to do it, because you are instantly making your relationship about more than just the business, about more than price, and you are making it very, very difficult for competitors to steal the business away from you. Your business partner in China needs to see some personal advantage in your network, in your connections, in your areas of influence, and in your knowledge. There's no two ways about that. We have a Max called it the tall poppy syndrome. I agree with that. You know, we are to some degree very sceptical and a bit standoffish when it comes to politicians. This is not a political debate. It's just a reality. Whereas in China, it's a very different situation. At our business awards, we had some very high-level political people. We had the Lord Mayor of Adelaide, we had Lieutenant Governor, and so on. I can tell you that regardless of my political persuasions, I would have walked on broken glass to make sure I had my photo taken with the Premier, with the Treasurer, with the Lord Mayor, and so on. Absolutely. And I can also tell you that I have also, indirectly as a matter of interest, shared those photos with some friends of mine in China, because that is sharing your network and your area of influence to your business partner. That is once again something that takes the focus away from price all the time, which, you know, as I said, we're about $1.02 and a bit, a little bit less than $1.03, I think, today. So still above parity. You need to take the focus away from price. The right kind of network combined with the right kind of negotiation strategy adds value to your relationship and helps create this thing the Chinese call guanxi. So how can having good guanxi help you from my personal experience? If you are buying from China, it can lower your cost price and prioritise your orders. It's a fact. Happened to me personally. If you are selling to China, it can motivate your agent to work harder and it can improve your sales. It can also take the focus away from price. But the single most important one, in many cases, for Australian exporters is when something goes wrong, and you'll note that I didn't say if, I said when. it can often be your only means of resolving the problem. Try and sue a Chinese company in China, you have got no chance whatsoever. Having good guanxi, having that good relationship can often be your only possible way of sorting the problem out. So, some examples of guanxi working when buying from China. June 2009, 5,000 workers at an apparel factory go on strike. They'd only recently got union rights and decided to flex their muscle. Police were called in. There were 3 major orders on the production line of this factory. Only one of those orders got delivered on time. The owner of the factory took that order down to a competitor in the area and paid a 30% premium to get the job done. Simply because he couldn't afford to lose face and let that client down. The other 2 jobs that were on production lines, about a week before the job was due, the very typical, if you do a lot of business in China, email got sent that blames the third party. Our QC department has just checked the fabric, and the fabric supplier has sent fabric that didn't pass the QC test. The fabric supplier has agreed to resupply the fabric at no cost to you, but unfortunately your delivery has been pushed back 90 days. Now, or you can cancel the order. Now, some of those intended recipients might well have been sitting back thinking, "Ooh, that's a fantastic QC department. I'm lucky with this factory." Reality is there was no accident. The supplier with the buyer with the best relationship with the manufacturer got looked after. The other 2 didn't. It's that simple. When selling to China, some examples of guanxi working. August 2009, massive floods off the coast of Xiamen. And that is I think it's a 3-story building there, or used to be. Most of it's underwater now, or a 5-story building. The floods are everywhere. You can't move goods in or out. Containers have been accumulating at the port, and some of them are starting to be damaged as well. However, in advance of this happening, there were some containers that had been offloaded from vessels that were carefully sorted and put away out of the weather. And those containers were the first containers delivered the moment the water subsided. The only reason that happened was guanxi. No other reason. You really need to appreciate, and everyone has said it, the ANZ guys have said it, Max has said it, doing business in China is nothing like doing business in Australia. Negotiating in China, nothing like negotiating in Australia, nothing at all. Even when something looks so clear and so familiar on the surface, often behind the scenes, it's not what you think. As regular visitors to China might often observe, up is often down, in is out, black is white, and yes, it is true, yes often really means no. My importing and exporting experience can help you with doing business in China, and if there is something I can do to help you get that off the ground, it'd be my pleasure. Whether you call upon my help or the help of somebody else, I really hope you do succeed, because I know firsthand how difficult doing business in China is. Exporting is a really powerful, tangible thing that adds value to the state and to the country, and so I have the utmost respect for people doing it, not the least of which because I know it can be difficult. If you do succeed, I'd love to hear about it as well, whether you engage me or not. I do wish you all the best. If I have demotivated you, then I apologise, because it's certainly not my intention. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you are interested in the Hong Kong Australia Business Association. I should point out that as a result of our market research program pilot in 2010, South Australian companies signed six-figure export contracts. So it doesn't get any more clear-cut than that to me. That doesn't guarantee you will, but if it can give you a little insight and put you in a bit of realistic perspective how ready you are to tackle that market, then it may show you that you're ready now. It may show you that you've got a little bit of work to do. It may show you that it's not for you. Either way, I see it as being a benefit.